I remember sitting in a prison cell, reading a document that said the United States of America versus Stephen Arrington. I was a co-defendant in the John DeLorean drug trial because I had co-piloted a plane from Colombia to California with 650 pounds of cocaine in that airplane. At the time, it was the largest known drug haul in the United States. And then I drove a car from Florida to California with $24 million of the cocaine in it. But as I was driving that car, I knew it was wrong. And I knew I was in a world I didn't want to be in, and so instead of delivering the car, I abandoned it, which got my employers a little excited. That evening, men with guns took me back to the car, and I thought they were going to kill me. Instead, a dozen more men came running out of the darkness with more guns, and they arrested me. I was saved by a dozen armed DEA agents. It was like the cavalry coming over the hill and rescuing you. It's been quite a journey, from a prison cell to a Cousteau expedition vessel going around the world, to the island nations of Fiji, to a little school at the end of a dirt road, and down at that little school, we're changing the world with children for Jesus Christ. For 5.5 years, I went off on an incredible odyssey of underwater adventure with Jean-Michel Cousteau, swimming along reefs that were very colorful with exotic fish, with whales and dolphins and sharks. And after this wonderful journey, I realized I wanted to give something back. And so I started a youth ministry. Got to thinking about Fiji a lot, particularly when people were asking me to take them scuba diving. And I noticed that most of the people wanted me to take them diving were doctors and nurses and dentists, physical therapists. And so I thought, why not come back to Fiji with a medical missionary work? So I asked Jean-Michel Cousteau. In February 1998, he invited me to come here to the Jean-Michel Cousteau Resort with the idea of setting up this program where medical people, dental people, could come here, go diving in the morning, and in the afternoon, we'd work at the government hospital. Well, while I was here, I heard about a school, Christian school, called Vatuvonu. The school was in trouble, and to try to save the school financially, they voted to start a youth camp. Well, this has been my dream. I want to take physically challenged kids and teach them how to scuba dive. Imagine a kid who's never walked, who's never run, going underwater with a scuba tank. Suddenly, free of weight, they're flying in slow motion underwater. So I got in my rental car and I went to look at the school. What happened next I like to call one man's little idea, God's great big plan. Because when I arrived, I found out that very day the Fiji mission was taking a vote to sell the school because their debt was so large. The pastor told me, Steve, we need a miracle. We're standing on air. What are we going to do?
The mission has given everything to the school committee, and the president even said, we've given the ball into your hand. The survival of this school depends on how you're going to manage the school. So we started off with the farming, we tried to do this and that. So I think I believe that this is God's answer. You Americans, come and help us.
My idea was just to get the kids together and have them sing a hymn that would save their school. And as I asked them to do this, the most surprising words came out of my mouth. Instead of saying, sing a hymn to save your school, I asked them to sing a hymn to change the world. Why would I say that? What happened next? It's a miracle. Because we saved the school. We were able to pay off the debt of the school. Because those little kids, they got up and they sang, Jesus is a winner man, a winner man, a winner man. And he wins all the time. In just over 2 years, the changes at Vatuvonu are phenomenal. We started to build a medical clinic. While we're building the clinic, patients are coming, saying, we're sick now, can you help us now? We had a medical team, volunteers from Loma Linda University Medical Center, come to the school to open our clinic. We had already treated over 3,000 patients. And while these medical kids were there, we had a real life-saving emergency.
Well, it's Sabbath morning, and we were all out singing with the children when it seems like this morning was this morning for our new clinic to get baptized by fire. It took a little bit for everyone to figure out what was going on, but a police van pulled up, and there was a woman in the back, and I guess it was the equivalent of an ambulance. And a couple of us were down singing with the kids and went over to see what was happening. And it appears that a woman decided to take some of this Roundup here this morning, really concentrated stuff, in our first poison case in our new clinic and our brand new ER. So she's sitting over there now, and luckily the whole medical team was down singing with the kids. So a couple of us jumped in the back of the truck with the woman, drove up to our makeshift clinic up in the library and looked around, and by some miracle of God, we happened to have atropine, epinephrine, a couple syringes, everything we needed sitting right out there. So we were tossing stuff out the window, and we tossed some of it to Jim, one of our nurses, and he was saying the woman's arm was just hanging flaccid, couldn't see a vein, had a tourniquet on her, couldn't see a vein, and so he just went where he thought the vein should be, and there it was. And so we had a line set in her, gave her an injection, had people sitting out marking down the times that everything was done. Originally we were thinking we might have to turn her away and send her somewhere else, but God works in strange and wonderful ways, and it looks like we had everything we needed to get her going. As a medical student, I felt, oh, what if I'm in the way? But we needed all the hands we had to get everything done. And right now she's over in the other room. We've had prayer with her. She's doing really, really well. And I have to say that our first emergency case in our first emergency ER here in Fiji looks like it's been a success.
This is the opening and dedication ceremony for our medical clinic.
When you look at this clinic, you see a modern building in a bure that represents the heart and the history of Fiji.
We had treated over 3,000 patients already, which is why 1,000 Fijians came from all over the island to participate in the ceremony. And when we opened the door, I wanted a little girl from Fiji to be the one to cut the opening ribbon. We've also had dental students come to the school. We're teaching restorative dentistry. We're teaching them how to prevent problems with their teeth. You see all the kids lined up brushing their teeth. It's so much fun. This 4-year-old girl named Elise, she can't walk 2 steps without having to rest. She doesn't get to run like other kids. And her heart problem is life-threatening if something isn't done. We brought that little girl out here to the United States. She got life-saving heart surgery, and here she is now back in Fiji, a happy little girl who runs with a bright, shining future. This is Josiah, pretty happy 15-year-old boy. That's because he has a whole new life waiting for him. A couple of months ago, he had 2 leaking heart valves, and then St. Mary's Regional Medical Center in California donated free surgery for him, and he has a future too.
Thank you, Dream Machine, for giving my life back to me, and I really appreciate it. I'm doing fine right now. It's really a progress. Yeah, thank you.
He's 11 years old, and he fractured his leg last August, falling out of a mango tree, right? We didn't start singing here until February of this year, at which point he was diagnosed with osteomyelitis. He's had an infection of the bone in his leg, probably since he fractured in August. He was unable to walk when he came in here, and his knee was bent permanently at an angle where he could not put his foot on the ground. At that point, we gave him some antibiotics, and he was coming here every day, getting antibiotics through his IV. And Dr. Carlson, one of our orthopedic doctors from the United States, came over here in March. He met Palacio, and he decided that he needed to do surgery on him. We were fortunate enough to have some funds from the Dream Machine Foundation. We were able to fly Palacio over to Latoka on the other island of Fiji, and he had 2 surgeries then. They were able to fix some of the bones inside here, but unable to finish the surgery in the length of time that he had here. So now we're hoping to get Palacio over to the United States, have the surgery finished up there that he needs so he can walk. Meanwhile, he's been very good at doing his exercises. He can get his leg almost completely straight now, and he is able to bear weight on it. So we have great hope that this boy will keep this leg.
This little boy, we already have a family that's promised to fly him to America. And we have a hospital and a medical team that's already going to help this boy. And we're going to do everything we can to make sure Palacio gets to run again with the other kids. This isn't our only kid. We have other children who also need help. And if you want to get involved, well, here's why. Okay, go get him. Go get him.
Thank you, Prince.
Remember the original dream of having a youth camp? We're doing it at Kiowa Island. 120 acres of beautiful Ocean Bay right now is being converted into a youth camp. We're starting to build buoys. These are Fijian huts right there on the beach. Eventually, we're going to have a wharf extending into the ocean. Kids are going to be able to snorkel and swim in crystal clear water with colorful corals. We're going to build houses in the trees. This is going to be a true Swiss Family Robinson youth camp. My wife Cindy is a fashion designer, and she was teaching sewing to the Fijian ladies so they could make Pathfinder uniforms for their kids. On this trip, we dedicated the youth camp. We had Pathfinders from North America, and the Flame of Fiji came in to sing the dedication song.
It's a day of miracle, a day of healing. Hands were scarred on that old cross. Now the hands are leaving, man, the heart's so broken. Hands of life to the dying. Lord of heaven, Lord of earth, King of kings and King of kings, dedicated
Students from North America are coming to Fiji to teach in our classrooms, and it's fun. We have a great industry at Vatuvonu School. For instance, the bakery.
Well, we are making wholemeal bread, and that's plain flour with together with wholemeal and yeast and sugar. We're mixing it in cold water. We make about 80 to 90 loaves a day. We're selling bread in a few villages just around the bay, Buddha Bay. We are selling for 90 cents a load. We are delivering it using the mission truck. Dream machine truck.
Look at this little canteen. Can you believe it brings in over $3,000 a month? These are our chickens. They produce over 100 eggs every day. One of our industries is coconuts. Kids are paying their full tuition to come to Vatuvonu School with coconuts. We have worked hard to get these boats in the water so we can have a fishing industry. Every single night these boats go out and they bring back a terrific harvest of fish. This is unbelievable. Our machine shop is the most advanced facility of its kind on this side of the island. People ask me, what kind of volunteers do you need in Fiji? We need everybody. We're doing painting.
I'll teach you.
Construction. One of our projects has been the building of this triplex as a housing unit for our student missionaries. One of the things we really enjoy doing at the school is getting up way before the sun, going out on the boat, and being on the international dateline just as the sunrise begins to happen. And then we continue to the garden island, Taviuni. Walk along the beach. We go to a waterfall that spills over 100 feet. And then, for the latter part of the day, there's water rock slides where you can slide hundreds of feet over these slippery stones. At the end of the day, on our trip back, often we're joined by a pod of friendly dolphins that like to swim at the bow of our boat. And at the end of the day, we're met by a beautiful sunset, another perfect day in Fiji. The meccas, the spear dances, to have the Fijians dancing, a ceremony of joy that we're here. One of the really fun things is the sending off ceremonies, when the local people make the leis and the sulus to honor the missionaries who've come from so far away to help them. This trip has been extra special for me because my entire family is here. My father-in-law, a retired missionary pastor, he and my mother-in-law spent 20 years in the South Pacific. My wife Cindy and our 3 children are having a chance to experience this as a family together with the Fijians. And it's been so much fun. For the kids, they've been snorkeling on the reefs, climbing waterfalls, up in trees, floating down a river on a raft, down muddy trails on horseback. But the best part is having my children playing with the Fijian children and learning what missionary work is all about, the joy of doing something to help another person. The seed is being planted for my kids, for their future. It's one of the very best parts. This trip has been extra special.
I can only imagine what it will be like when I walk by your side. I can only imagine what my eyes will see when your face is before me. I can only imagine. Yeah. Surrounded by your glory, what will my heart feel? Will I dance for you, Jesus? Or in awe of you be still? Will I stand in your presence? Or to my knees will I fall? Will I sing hallelujah? Will I be able to speak at all? I can only imagine. I can only imagine. I can only imagine when that day comes and I find myself standing in the sun. I can only imagine when all I would do is forever worship you. I can only imagine, yeah. I can only imagine. Surrounded by your glory, what will my heart feel? Will I dance for you, Jesus? Or in awe of you be still? Will I stand in your presence? Or to my knees will I fall? Will I sing hallelujah? Will I be able to speak at all? I can only imagine. Yeah, I can only imagine. Surrounded by your glory, what will my heart feel? Will I dance for you, Jesus? Or in awe of you be still? Will I stand in your presence? Or to my knees will I fall? Will I sing hallelujah? Will I be able to speak at all? I can only imagine. can only imagine when all I would do is forever, forever worship you. I can only imagine.
You've seen now all the miracles, what's going on at Vatuvonu School and in Butha Bay. You've seen our youth camp and our medical clinic. You've seen our school and our farm and all of our hopes for the future. Cindy and I were talking, and Cindy looked at all the wonders, and she glanced at me and she said, "Steve, why you? I mean, think about it. I'm an ex-felon. I went to prison. I deserved to go to prison. So why me?" When Cindy asked me that question, my answer was immediate. Why not me? But my real question is, why not you? There is so much opportunity. There is something for everybody here in Vatuvonu. And people ask me, "Steve, what can I do?" Well, that's between you and God. Because me, I'm just a servant, standing in a door and holding it open. It's up to you to go through that door. It's up to you what's going to happen between you and God. But I know that old adage that we've heard so many times, it's true, is that when a person makes a commitment to be a missionary, student missionary, medical missionary, doesn't matter. When a person makes a commitment to come here and do God's work, the biggest change is going to be you. So why not you? Hey, come to Fiji. Don't wait. Come on. We can use you. We have a lot of work, and we've only just begun.
Fill it up and it overflow. Fill it up and it overflow in love. In mercy, grace, are the lead of mine. The leader man for the Bible, saving soul. Oh, leader man, in me love. Fill it up and it overflow. Fill it up and it overflow with love. Oh, Jesus' life, feel it I know. Oh, Jesus, know for the Bible, take me so. Oh, leader and in me love. And is God. Fill it up and it overflow. And it overflow with love. Oh, mercy, grace, all the leader mine. The leader man for the Bible, take me soon. Oh, leader man for the Bible, take me soon. Oh, leader man for the Bible, take me soon. Oh, leader man, the man I see. Oh, climb boldly and seek a monarchy. For the Lord is fun, I just sing.